Good day, children. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all happy. Children, do you like to listen to stories? Yes, I'm sure you all do. Who tells you these stories? Your grandparents, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your teachers, your friends. How are you at storytelling? Can you make up stories? I think kids can. Children, what kind of stories do you like? Do you like humorous stories? Do you like facts or fiction? Do you like thrillers, suspense stories, mysteries, ghost stories? What kind of stories do you like? A vast range, yes. I think one likes almost all kinds of stories. They're all very interesting. Today we will enjoy a very interesting and exciting story, Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. Like his first flight, this story is also about overcoming fear. This story is about determination, about taking a risk to overcome the obstacles and to achieve one's goal, to reach one's destination. This story is about not giving up. This is about survival. Frederick Forsyth is a British novelist, journalist, former spy and occasional political commentator. He was born on 25th August 1938 in United Kingdom. In the story Black Aeroplane, the narrator is flying to his family to enjoy his holidays. He wants to reach England in time so that he could enjoy a good English breakfast with his family. Here the author is the narrator. It is written in first person narrative. Now the story starts. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and the stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. In this story, the narrator is flying a Dakota aeroplane. A Dakota is a military transport aircraft. It was used extensively by the Allies during World War II, and it remained in the frontline service with various military operations for many years. Its top speed is 370 km per hour and its cruise speed is 258 km per hour. It has a wingspan of 29 meters. Where is the narrator going? He is going to England. And from where? From France. And why is he going to England? Because he wants to go home, be with his family. It's his holidays going on. What is the time? It's 1:30 in the morning. Why morning? Is it like daytime or is it night time? It is actually night, but they call it morning because the new day has started after 12 p.m. It's past midnight. I should call Paris control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I'm on my way to England. Over. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088, over. When the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris control personnel about its presence and for instructions. At that time, lights from the Paris city were blaring at him. He informed the control agency, to which they replied with further instructions on the directions. They advised him to turn 12 degrees to the west. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. Children, do you know what makes for an English breakfast? The English have a very hearty breakfast. We in India do as well. We have paranthas in the north, and then in the south we have dosas and sambar vadas and idlis. So in England, the English breakfast is normally bacon, sausages, eggs, baked beans, tomatoes, mushrooms, toast, black pudding, along with tea or coffee. So children, was he having a comfortable journey? Yes, he was. So after receiving the instructions, the pilot geared up and followed them while putting the last fuel tank into operation. Now this seems like a bit of a risk. One is over to the last fuel tank. Whenever one travels, I think one should have a full tank. At this time, he was dreaming about his time with his family, and then he started thinking about having his breakfast. He was calm as everything was going as planned. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or the south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I'll take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Now the plane had crossed Paris and he'd started seeing clouds in the sky. Dark, monstrous clouds. The thick, dark clouds made it unsafe to travel by air. These clouds were so huge and dark that the pilot compared them to black mountains. He knew he could not pass them, as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that he had left in the tank. So this is what I was saying earlier. One should always travel on a full tank. Now it's become a huge risk for him. He cannot circumvent them. He cannot go around them either from the north or from the south. He cannot go above them. So the right decision would have been to fly back to Paris. I'll take the risk. What is this risk and why does he take it? The pilot's decision to go through the clouds, to go through the storm, that's the risk that he takes. And why does he take it? Because he wants to meet his family. He's desperate to go home and have a good English breakfast with his family. So he took this risk of not going back just to be with his family. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. It was so dark because of the storm and nothing was visible outside the plane. He started losing control of the aeroplane. Because of the turbulence, the compass and the other instruments had also stopped working. The weather was really, really bad. He became helpless. And now he's trying to contact through the radio. Children, let's do an activity now. You have to state whether the following statements are true or false. It was very cloudy when the pilot started his journey.
No, it's not true. It's false statement.
Yes, it was a clear night. He was going from France to England.
Yes, it's true statement.
Good. He was flying a MiG-21 aeroplane.
No, it's a false statement.
He was flying a Dakota. That's correct. He was flying during the day.
As far as I remember, it's a false statement because he started off during the night.
You're right. It was 1:30 a.m., which is past midnight. The pilot belonged to France.
False. No, he did not.
He belonged to England. That was his home. There was less fuel in the aircraft.
True.
Right? There was a huge storm when he was 100 kilometers from Paris.
False? No, it's not right. It's false.
Yes, because he was 150 kilometers from Paris. It would have been safer to go back to Paris.
I remember I have read this in the chapter and I feel this is a true statement.
Good. The compass and other instruments stopped functioning during the storm.
True. And he lost his way, I remember.
Very well done, child. Good. I tried the radio. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. Then, in the black clouds, quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. "Follow me," he was saying. "Follow me." He knows that I'm lost, I thought. He's trying to help me. So children, what is a compass used for? It is used for direction. So the narrator is trying to contact Paris Control Agency, which helped him earlier, but he couldn't connect with them because of the turbulence, because of the bad weather. In the midst of nowhere, when everything failed, he saw a ray of hope. What was the ray of hope? Yes, he saw another aeroplane. He felt relieved when he saw another pilot's face and the willingness to help him escape the storm. He thought to himself that the other pilot is very kind and that he also knew that the narrator was in trouble, that he'd lost his way. And the other pilot, the pilot of the black aeroplane, was trying to help him. Children, this is mysterious. From where did the aeroplane come? Why were there no lights on the wings? And how did the pilot of the other aeroplane know that the narrator was lost? Can you see the mystery here, children? He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north, in front of my Dakota, so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. I was starting to feel frightened again. But then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw 2 long straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. The other pilot took the lead and signaled to the lost aeroplane to make it easier for him to follow. The narrator followed him like an obedient child. There was just enough fuel to last him 5 to 10 minutes in air. It was only then that he started coming out of the storm and could see the runway to land his plane safely. This is amazing. Like, very mysterious how just out of the blue, just when he was really short on fuel, he saw the lines of light coming in front of him. He saw the runway, the airport, and he was able to land his plane safely there. And another mystery, when he turned to thank the other pilot, he realized that the plane that had helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. That other plane, the black aeroplane, was nowhere to be seen. Children, have you ever had such an experience in which you also got help like this? Like, let's say during the winter in the thick fog, you're traveling somewhere and then you lose your way. You may even be short on fuel. And then from somewhere, a truck comes or another car comes or even a bus comes and they ask you to follow. They lead you to safety. I've had a similar experience myself. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in the storm? No other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. So who helped me to arrive there safely, without a compass or a radio, and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane, flying in the storm without lights? Children, why does the narrator say I landed and I was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower? Yes, he was so thankful that he had touched ground. He was so thankful that he had landed safe and sound. So he was very relieved to get out of his plane. He headed straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot. And the lady looked at him very strangely. Why was that so? Because she said there was no other pilot. There was no other plane. She said his was the only plane in the sky because of the bad weather. The other plane was a phantom plane. He was left astonished with a lot of questions unanswered in his mind. That who had helped him reach safety without a compass? He had no radio which was working, his compass was not working, there was not enough fuel in his tanks, and yet there was that phantom plane which came to his rescue in this storm. Now this is the supernatural element here. Children, I want you to analyze the story and think about who helped the narrator. Children, do you know how a plane flies? I'll tell you. A plane's engines are designed to move it forward at high speed. That makes the air flow rapidly over the wings, which throw the air down towards the ground, generating an upward force called lift that overcomes the plane's weight and holds it in the sky. The wings force the air downwards and that pushes the plane upwards. Let's have a quiz now. The story Black Aeroplane was written by, the options are Liam O'Flaherty, Thomas Hardy, Frederick Forsyth, Anton Chekhov.
Frederick Forsyth.
Great. The next question is, the pilot looked forward to, the options are sleep, meet his family, meet his friends, new job.
Meet his family.
That's correct. The next question is, he contacted the control station at London, Paris, New Delhi, New York.
Paris.
Good. Paris. When the narrator says, they looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky, he's talking about, the options are black mountains, black plateaus, tall buildings, storm clouds.
Storm clouds.
Correct. Very good. The next question is, the pilot took the risk of jumping from the plane, overloading the plane, flying into the storm, diving his plane.
Flying into the storm.
That's correct. Good. The next question is, when he saw dark clouds, the narrator's distance from Paris was 150 kilometers, 500 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers.
150 kilometers?
That's correct. In the storm, the pilot could not see, speak, hear, jump.
C.
That is correct. Very well done in the quiz, child.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Children, the next activity is to match the phrases in column A with their meanings in column B. The phrases are fly a flag, fly into range, fly along, fly high, fly the coop. Now you must match the meanings with them. The meanings are move quickly or suddenly, be successful, display a flag on a long pole, escape from a blaze, become suddenly very angry. Fly a flag means
Display a flag on a long pole.
that is correct. Fly into rage means
Become suddenly very angry.
that's true. Fly along means
Move quickly or suddenly.
that is correct. Fly high means
Be successful.
that's correct. Fly the coop means
Escape from a place.
very good. Children, I would like you to make sentences using these phrases. Let's have another fun activity, children. You have to try to guess the meaning of the word black in the sentences given here. The first sentence is, go and have a bath. Your hands and face are absolutely black. So what does black mean?
Dirty.
That's correct. Dirty and grimy. The next sentence is, the taxi driver gave Ratan a black look as he crossed the road when the traffic light was green.
Is it an angry look?
That's correct. The next sentence is, the bombardment of Hiroshima is one of the blackest crimes against humanity.
Deadliest crimes?
That's right, it is one of the deadliest, the worst crimes in history. In this, more than 10 lakh people died in one day because the bomb that they had thrown was very, very terrible. It was a nuclear bomb, it was an atom bomb. Very few people enjoy Harold Pinter's black comedy. Black means?
Depressing.
That's correct. It was very depressing. So it's supposed to be funny. Here it's a satire. A satire is not always funny. They try to take out the mistakes of the society with the help of comedy. They want to point out those mistakes so that people correct them. So we have black comedies which are satires. Sometimes shopkeepers store essential goods to create false scarcity and then they sell those in black. What does black mean here?
At some expensive rate?
That's right, at a hiked price. Villagers had beaten the criminal black and blue.
Very badly.
Yes, very badly. That's correct. Black look, black crimes, black comedy, sell in black, beat black and blue are all color phrases. We called color phrases. So we have some more color phrases which I would like you to work on. Color phrases like silver lining, green thumb, silver spoon, blue mood, red carpet treatment. I would like you to find the meanings of these phrases and make sentences. Children, I would like you to think and write. Who helped the narrator to reach safely? Give reasons for your answer. You must write about, was it a real plane? Did the pilot imagine it? Or was it a phantom plane? Who could have been piloting the plane? Children, have you ever been alone or away from home in a thunderstorm? Narrate your experience. Children, I would like you to write a mystery story. Make it very interesting. Children, I hope you enjoyed the story. There is so much of thrill, excitement, and suspense in it. The story of the black aeroplane is open-ended. It leaves us wondering whether the plane really existed. Was it an imaginary aeroplane? Or was it a phantom? We are left wondering. But one thing we realize is, whatever it was, we have faith that yes, there is someone there taking care of us, someone there looking out for us. But at the same time, we should all be prepared, always well prepared to face any kind of adversity. Whatever we decide to do, we should do it well. We should not give up. If we keep on in the path that we have chosen, if we keep on working, we will achieve our destination, our goal. But at the same time, we should always be prepared to face any kind of difficulty, any kind of a situation. Once we set on a path, we should put in the right efforts. We should be willing to take the risk to follow it up so that we can reach our goals. We can achieve our aims. We should never give up.